Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here today. We are Group 6 and we are here to give a presentation regarding the theme Translation Errors. As you can see, our presentation comprises two major parts. The first part is translation errors, theories, and norms, and the second part is ATA framework for standard error marking. In the first part, we will discuss the two following issues: different approaches to define translation errors and possible causes of translation errors. Now we will go into detail. As you know, the term error usually means that something is wrong. In written text, error can be classified as pragmatic, idiomatic, linguistic, and so on errors. So, what is a translation error? There are different approaches to define translation error. The first approach as the production of a target text which is based on a source text. A translation error arises from the existence of a relationship between two texts. The second approach, from communicative approach, pragmatic conditions. A translation error is caused when something has gone wrong during the transfer and movement from the source text to the target text. The third approach, from pedagogical approach, translation training. Errors in translator training is very different from real translation errors because of some factors. For example, time, place, purpose of translation, cultural backgrounds, and norms in source text and target text. The final approach, from the concept of equivalence. A translation error is regarded as some kind of non-equivalence between source text and target text or non-adequacy of the target text. And now I'll show you possible causes of translation errors. Several problems during the transfer from the source text to the target text. Misunderstanding of the translation brief or of the content of the source text by not rendering the meaning of the source text accurately, by factual mistakes, terminological or stylistic flaws, and by different kinds of interferences between source text and target text. In the second part of our presentation, ATA Framework for Standard Error Marking, we will discuss three main points: definition, three categories of translation errors, and description of translation errors. As you can see, ATA, American Translators Association, is a professional association founded to advance the translation and interpreting professions and fosters the professional development of individuals, translators, and interpreters. Translation errors are divided into three groups. The first group consists of errors that concern the form of the exam. The second group consists of transfer errors that have a negative impact on understanding, and the third group consists of mechanical errors. Exam format errors includes three types: illegibility, indecision, and unfinished. Transfer errors consist of 12 types. They are addition, ambiguity, cohesion, faithfulness, for friends, literalness, mistranslation, misunderstanding, omission, register, style, and terminology. And now we are going to analyze three types of exam format errors. The first type is illegibility. This error occurs when graders hardly or cannot read what the candidate has written. Deletions, insertions, and revisions are acceptable if they do not make their intent unclear. And we have an example here. As you can see in this photo, we cannot read what the translator has written because the handwriting is too atrocious and blurred, so we can call it an illegibility error. The second type is indecision. An indecision error occurs when the candidate gives more than one option for a given translation unit, so the graders cannot choose the right word. If both are correct, it's an indecision error. If both are incorrect, it's also an indecision error, and more points will be deducted. We have an example here. Source text, tables, and figures are a useful way of presenting information in an accessible way. When including them, it's important to follow certain conventions. Target text, we have two choices. The first way. Bảng biểu là một phương thức rất hữu ích để trình bày thông tin một cách dễ tiếp cận. Một điều quan trọng khi chèn bảng biểu là phải tuân theo một số quy tắc nhất định. The second way. Bảng biểu là một phương thức rất hữu ích để trình bày thông tin một cách dễ hiểu. Một điều quan trọng khi chèn bảng biểu là phải tuân theo một số quy tắc nhất định. So we should only choose the option giving translate more exactly the original sentence. And the word accessible has a meaning that easy to understand, dễ hiểu. So we should choose the first option because it's more appropriate in this situation. And if we give both two options here, it's an indecision error. The third type is unfinished error. A substantially unfinished passage is not graded. Missing titles, headings, or sentences within a passage may be marked as one or more errors of omission, depending on how much is omitted. In this photo, we can see the translator hasn't finished the translation yet, so it can be called an unfinished error. And now we are going to discuss transfer error. The first type is addition. An addition error occurs when the translator introduces superfluous information or stylistic effects. Candidates should generally resist the tendency to insert clarifying material, and explicitation is permissible. We can see an example here. Source text. Cancer is a serious disease in which growth of cells, also called cancers, form in the body and kill normal body cells. Target text. Ung thư là một căn bệnh nghiêm trọng, trong đó sự phát triển của các tế bào ung thư hình thành trong cơ thể và tiêu diệt các tế bào bình thường. Đây còn hay được gọi là một căn bệnh gây chết người. So the phrase đây còn hay được gọi là một căn bệnh gây chết người is an addition error because this information isn't mentioned in the source text. The second type is ambiguity. An ambiguity error occurs when either the source or target text segment allows for more than one semantic interpretation, where its counterpart in the other language does not. And here is the first example. Source text: Harry sẽ không đến bữa tiệc đâu. Hãy nói với Joe là chúng tôi sẽ đến thăm Harry vào tuần sau. Target text: Harry isn't coming to the party. Tell Joe that we will see him next week. So the word him could refer either to Harry or to Joe, and it can be called ambiguity error. The second example, source text: He loves his dog more than his wife. Target text: Anh ấy yêu con chó hơn cả vợ mình. So, as you can see, the source language sentence can be understood in two different ways, and the translation above only provide one of the two intentions. So we have some suggestions here. Anh ấy yêu con chó hơn cả vợ mình. Or, anh ấy yêu con chó hơn cả vợ anh ấy yêu con chó. Both are correct.
Cohesion. Another error belongs to transfer errors. This error occurs when a text is hard to follow because of inconsistent use of terminology, misuse of pronouns, inappropriate conjunctions, or other structural errors. Cohesion is a network of lexical, grammatical, and other relations which provide formulas between various parts of a text. For example, I have a sentence. Tony và tớ sẽ đi xem phim vào cuối tuần này. My friend translated this one as follows. Tony and me are going to the movies this weekend. So in this case, me is misused. It must be I. So this sentence should be rewritten. Tony and I are going to the movies this weekend. Faithfulness. Faithfulness errors occur when the target text does not respect the meaning of the source text as much as possible. Candidates are asked to translate the meaning and intended of the source text, not to rewrite or improve upon it. For example, we can see the source text was written by Paul Anglo King, but in the target text, the author's name was not translated, but maybe the translator used her name as the author of the text, so it can be called faithfulness error. False phrase. False phrase error occurs when words of similar form but dissimilar meaning across the language pair are confused. Example: in a conversation, a person said, "She is big." The hero translated, "Cô ấy béo." So in this case, speaker's meaning is, cô ấy tên là Big, but the hero misunderstood, she is big. Literalness. Literalness error occurs when a translation that follows the source text word for word results in an awkward, unidiomatic, or incorrect renditions. For example, the source text, "He is a small boy." The target text, "Anh ấy là một nhỏ cậu bé." The sentence was translated in word-for-word style. So the suggestion is anh ấy là một cậu bé nhỏ. Mistranslation. Mistranslation occurs when the meaning of a segment of the source text is not conveyed properly in the target language. Mistranslation can involve choice of prepositions, use of definite and indefinite articles, and choice of verb tense and mood. For example, the source text, một hội nghị cỡ thượng đỉnh về môi trường, and the target text, a summit-like conference about environmental issues. In this case, the preposition about is misused. It should be on. Misunderstanding. Misunderstanding error occurs when candidates misunderstand the word, misinterpret the syntax of a sentence, and something like that. For example, the source text, how have recent developments modified the existing balance of power between the European Commission, the European Parliament, and the European Council, and the target text, những sự phát triển gần đây đã thay đổi cân bằng quyền lực giữa Ủy ban châu Âu, Nghị viện châu Âu và Hội đồng châu Âu như thế nào. In this case, the translator misunderstood the word developments. It should be những diễn biến. So, the suggestion, những diễn biến gần đây đã thay đổi cán cân quyền lực giữa Ủy ban châu Âu, Nghị viện châu Âu và Hội đồng châu Âu như thế nào. Omission. Omission error occurs when an element of information in the source text is left out of the target text. This covers not only textual information but also the author's intention. Missing titles, headings, or sentences in a passage may be marked as omission errors. Implication is permissible. For example, the source text, he was trapped and the doors could not be reopened for at least 20 minutes. The target text, ông đã mắc kẹt và các cánh cửa không thể mở lại trong vòng 20 phút. In this case, omitted word is at least. So, the suggestion, ông đã mắc kẹt và các cánh cửa không thể mở lại ít nhất trong vòng 20 phút nữa. Register. Register error occurs when the level of formality in the target text is not appropriate for the target audience or medium specified in the translation introductions. For example, the source text, what the hell are you doing? And the target text, ngài đang làm gì vậy? We can see the phrase what the hell is you in informal situation. So this case may be a conversation between two friends or between a person in higher position and one in lower position, but the target text is too formal, so it should be mày đang làm cái quái gì thế? Style. Style error occurs when the style of the translation is inappropriate for publication or professional use as specified by the translation introductions. Terminology. Terminology error occurs when a term specific to a special subject field is not used when the corresponding term is used in the source text. For example, the source text, some nutritionists are also saying the dry cows are not important. And the target text, một số chuyên gia dinh dưỡng cũng cho biết những con bò khô này không quan trọng. In this case, dry cow means bò cạn sữa, not bò khô. So the suggestion should be, một số chuyên gia dinh dưỡng cũng cho biết những con bò cạn sữa này không quan trọng.
The next part I will introduce mechanical errors. There are 8 kinds of error in the mechanical errors. The first is the capitalization. The capitalization errors occur when the convention of the target language concerning upper or lower case uses are not followed. For example, short text, University of Social Science and Humanity. Target text, trường Đại học Khoa học Xã hội và Nhân văn. Ở đây thì có một lỗi sai, đó là chữ H trong từ học, chữ H trong từ hội và chữ V trong từ văn thì theo quy ước của chính phủ thì không cần viết hoa. Tuy nhiên thì ở đây đã viết hoa và chúng ta thì nên sửa lại theo slide. The next error is the type critical marks or accents. And this error occurs when the target language convention of the accents and diacritical marks are not followed. If incorrect or missing diacritical marks occur, meaning the error more seriously. For example, short text: for years KFC had claimed its chicken is a finger-licking good, but it planned to change the popular slogan. Target text: trong nhiều năm KFC đã tuyên bố rằng gà rán của họ có vị ngon trên từng ngón tay, nhưng chuỗi nhà hàng bán đồ ăn nhanh này đang có kế hoạch thay đổi. Ở đây có một lỗi sai về dấu của dấu chính tả của từ. Đáng lẽ dấu ngã thì nên viết hoa ở trên chữ O trong từ chuỗi. Và chúng ta nên sửa như trên slide. And the next error is the grammar. A grammar error occurs when the sentence in the translation violates the grammatical rules of the target language. These errors include lack of the agreement between subject and verb, incorrect verb tense or verb forms, and incorrect declension of the nouns, pronouns, or adjectives. For example, short text: không một ai bị thương nặng, nhưng cả bọn đã được một phen hú hồn. Target text: no one was seriously hurt, but it was a never-settling experience. No one phải đi cùng với lại một động từ số ít. Tuy nhiên thì ở đây đã dùng từ were là động từ số nhiều, và câu này phải sửa từ were thành was. And the next error is the punctuation. It occurs when the conventions of the target language regarding punctuation are not followed. It includes the governing of the use of quotation marks, commas, semicolons, and colons. Incorrect or unclear of the paragraphing is also counted as a punctuation errors. For example, the short text: cô ấy bị cận 3,1 độ. Target text: she is nearsighted by 3,1 degrees. Ở đây có một lỗi sai về dấu. Đó là khi chúng ta dùng 3,1 độ trong tiếng Việt, khi dịch sang tiếng Anh thì phải dùng thành 3.1 như ở trên bảng đã sửa, chứ không được dùng y nguyên 3,1 như trong tiếng Việt. And the next error is the spelling. A spelling error occurs when a word or character in the translation is spelled incorrectly according to target language conventions. For example, short text: môi trường ngày càng ô nhiễm trầm trọng, and the target text: the environment is increasingly polluted. Ở đây có một lỗi sai về chính tả, đó là viết thiếu chữ N trong từ environment và phải sửa đầy đủ như ở trên bảng. And the next error is the syntax. This error occurs when the arrangement of words doesn't conform to syntactic rules of the target language. And errors in the category include improper modification, lack of the parallelism, and unnatural word order. If the incorrect syntax changes the meanings, the error is more serious. For example, the short text. Đất nước này không thể tồn tại phạm trù đạo đức, kinh tế hay chính trị khi kẻ ăn không hết, người lần chẳng ra. And the target text. This country does not survive morally, economy, and politics when so few has so much and so many have so little. Ở đây thì chúng ta cần phải sửa từ phạm trù đạo đức, kinh tế hay chính trị trong bản dịch là morally, economy and politics thành cùng một trường từ song song, ví dụ như là morally, economically or politically. And the next error is the use errors occur when the convention of wording in the target language are not followed. For example, the short text. Thủ tướng Canada Stephen Harper đã bắt đầu chuyến công du Bắc Cực nhằm khẳng định những tuyên bố mới gần đây của Canada về chủ quyền đối với khu vực dọc tài nguyên thiên nhiên này. And the target text. Prime Minister of Canada Stephen Harper began his tour to Arctic Circle in order to reframe his country's recent claim of sovereignty over the wealthy resources area. Ở trong bản dịch tiếng Việt thì khu vực giàu tài nguyên thiên nhiên thì được dịch thành wealthy resources area. Tuy nhiên thì chúng ta nên sửa thành resource rich region thì sẽ được hay hơn và đúng. Word form errors. Either the root of the word is correct, but the form of the word is incorrect or non-existent in the target language. And the path of speech error, either the grammatical form is incorrect. For example, the short text. Tôi đã chạy bộ trong công viên này đã 5 năm. Target text. I had run in this park for 5 years. Ở đây có một lỗi sai về word form, đó là từ run phải nên sửa thành từ run.